Hi, my name's Jamie Ferguson and I'm the lead battle designer for Total War. We're looking to try and create something that isn't just the typical Total War of vast armies meeting each other on a battlefield and clashing together. We're looking to actually bring in naval battles and land battles and bringing them together so that they're part of one whole picture. And also not just looking at the vast kind of battlefield with thousands and thousands of men all fighting away on a battlefield, but being able to go right down into a very personalised view of the whole thing so that you can actually see, feel and hear everything that those soldiers are experiencing, and then at the same time be able to get a general overview of the battlefield. We have a tactical battle view that's instantly accessible through the user interface that allows the player to see exactly where all of the units are on the battlefield and how they're positioned, and also be able to give orders, from going from A to B in that position, and then immediately switch back right from that position right down to the individual man or anywhere in between. We've been looking at starting the battle maybe with everything already on the move and men moving towards each other. Also looking at, for example, that the deployment phase for the guys on the ship would be that you then place your ships where you want to start them before you actually start the landings. And mixing that up, we're looking at how that could work. We're not really sure exactly how we're going to do it, but there will definitely be beach landings, and that will be under player control. The detail in terms of the types of animation that we can now put into the game, the way that we can create mass with the actual men, give each man his individual weight, and that can affect combat, not just purely based on statistics in terms of who hits who and so on. That you can actually therefore have the situation where the guys who have got heavier armour and equipment, that's going to allow them to push back people who, for example, are only wearing lightweight equipment. Also, men moving on and off ships. This is something that we've never had in a Total War game before. And again, going down to a kind of third-person view of battle. Something we've experimented in Fall of the Samurai, and bringing that forward and expanding upon that and making that something that's an important part of gameplay, but not the only part of gameplay, and at the same time making that whole grand strategy something that you have to be aware of, but not the only element of the game. I think one of the things that you get when you play a game with such vast scope is that you can start to feel that maybe you're divorced from what's going on. And one of the things that we want to do is give people that kind of cinematic experience and make them feel that they're part of something, and that when they give those guys an order to go and take the walls, they can actually experience that themselves and see what those guys are going through, and realise that they're not just a small bunch of clones climbing up a ladder, that there are individuals in there and they're all doing their best for you, and they may even actually be aware of your presence as well. We're looking at basically making every experience, whether you're fighting in a Greek city or a Roman city, Carthaginian city, that's something that will feel very distinct to the place that you're in, that they won't be some kind of rubber stamped kind of experience. And also making the player feel that when they're in that environment that there's something that they're involved in and they're part of. When they go down into that siege battle from the campaign map, they'll see that the place has been under siege. There'll be damage to the buildings, there'll be dead bodies in the streets and so on, carrion birds flying above the city. And at the same time, the way that the player chooses to attack those walls, when they move their siege towers, at the beginning of the battle, it's where are you going to place those? Are you going to come around, from this side, or are you going to go direct, head-on approach? Are you looking to bring down the towers and then, batter down the gates, or are you going to bring down the walls and just, push through?